Good morning, students. Class 11th. Yesterday we started the first chapter of snapshots. The chapter is The Summer of the Beautiful White Horse. So, dear students, in this chapter till now we have discussed about the two children, Aram and Murad, and both of them they belong to Garoglinian family, which is well known for honesty and trust. And as Murad has been described, a very crazy child, and on a horse he went to Aram's house and he invited him for horse riding. Okay, so let's move further now. Page number 2, last paragraph. Well, it seemed to me stealing a horse for a ride was not the same thing as stealing something else. Well, it seemed to me stealing a horse for a ride was not the same thing as stealing something else, such as money. Now see, Aram tried to justify. He defends his cousin Murad as well as himself. And that's why he says that if you are willing to ride a horse and you steal the horse, it is not a stealing. It is not a stealing like money. For all I knew, maybe it wasn't stealing at all. Because why did he say so? He's saying, for all I knew, maybe it wasn't stealing at all. Because they are saying that our purpose is to learn horse riding, and that's why my cousin Murad had stolen the horse. So it is not the stealing. It means according to him, the stealing will be when they will sell that horse. Then it would be considered stealing. See, he's going to explain it. If you were crazy about horses, the way my cousin Murad and I were, it wasn't stealing. It wouldn't become stealing until we offered to sell the horse. It is mentioned here. He said that we were crazy and it wouldn't become stealing until we offered to sell the horse. If we shall offer to sell this horse, then it is stealing. Otherwise, if we have stolen the horse for learning horse riding, then it is not stealing. So here he justifies, right? Which of course I knew we would never do. We are not going to sell this horse. Let me put on some clothes, I said. All right, he said, but hurry. So Aram said to Murad, let me put on some clothes. And Murad replied, but hurry up. I leaped into my clothes, I jumped down to the yard from the window and leaped up onto the horse behind my cousin Murad. So he jumped from the window and then he leaped up onto the horse behind Murad. That year we lived at the edge of town on Walnut Avenue. Behind our houses was the country, vineyards, orchards, irrigation ditches and country roads. In less than 3 minutes, we were on Olive Avenue. This is the name of the road or the area, you can say. And then the horse began to trot. Trot means when to move forward in speed. The air was new and lovely to breathe. The feel of the horse running was wonderful. My cousin Murad, who was considered one of the craziest member of our family, began to sing. He began to roar. So now they were enjoying the horse riding because now they were on the high road. It was just like highway, you can say. It was quite open. Okay. So now they were enjoying the horse riding. Where? Behind their houses there were vineyards, orchards, and irrigation ditches also. Every family has a crazy streak in it somewhere, and my cousin Murad was considered the natural descendant of the crazy streak in our tribe. Every family member has a crazy streak. Streak means natural inclination. Natural inclination. The spelling of inclination is INCLINATION. Every family has a crazy streak in it somewhere, and my cousin Murad was cousin Murad was considered the natural descendant. Descendant when something that has developed from something similar in past. Or here you can say the heir of someone. Means when a person represents someone, almost the same qualities you can say. So Murad was considered the natural descendant of the crazy streak in our tribe, and before him was our uncle Khosrow. Before him was our uncle Khosrow. Third character, Uncle Khosrow, an enormous man with a powerful head of black hair and the largest mustache in the San Joaquin Valley. A man who was so furious in temper, so irritable, so impatient that he stopped anyone from talking by roaring, "It is no harm, pay no attention to it." It was his perfect dialogue, which he used every time. Whenever somebody comes to him and complains, then he says, "It is no harm, pay no attention to it." So these are few characteristics of Uncle Khosrow. You can underline. Uncle Khosrow, an enormous man with a powerful head of black hair and largest mustache in San Joaquin Valley. A man so furious in temper. He was short-tempered, you can say, and there was some history that he was short-tempered. So irritable, so impatient that he stopped anyone from talking by roaring, "It is no harm, pay no attention to it." That was all. No matter what anybody happened to be talking about. That was all. It doesn't matter the next person who came to him, he might be talking about something else, but he would say only these things. "It is no harm, pay no attention to it." See what happened once. Once, it was his own son Arak running 8 blocks to the barber shop where his father was having his mustache trimmed to tell him their house was on fire. His own son Arak, he came to the barber shop and he told his father that our own house is on fire. This man Khosrow sat up in chair and roared, "It is no harm, pay no attention to it." The child said, "Our own house is on fire." And he's saying, "It is no harm, pay no attention to it." The barber said, "But the boy says your house is on fire." So Khosrow roared, "Enough! It is no harm, I say." So that was his way to talk to anyone. Right? My cousin Murad was considered the natural descendant of this man, although Murad's father was Jorab, who was practical and nothing else. Murad was considered the natural descendant of Uncle Khosrow, though Murad's father was Jorab, who was practical and nothing else. You can pronounce it Jorab also. You can pronounce it Jorab also. That's how it was in our tribe. A man could be the father of his son's flesh, but that did not mean that he was also the father of his spirit. Underline this line, very important. Aram described the tribe. He's saying a man could be the father of his son's flesh, but that did not mean that he was also the father of his spirit. The distribution of various kind of spirit of our tribe had been from the beginning capricious and vagrant. capricious, changeable, showing sudden changes in attitude or behavior. Vagrant. Vagrant means a person who has no home or job. A person who has no home or job, who actually begs. So the distribution of the various kinds of spirit of our tribe had been from the beginning capricious and vagrant. Means as the time changes, a lot of changes took place. We rode, and my cousin Murad saying, we rode, and my cousin Murad saying, because he was enjoying. For all anybody knew, we were still in the old country, where at least according to some of our neighbors we belonged to. We let the horse run as long as it felt like running. At last my cousin Murad said, "Get down, I want to ride alone." So first, both of them, they were enjoying, okay, both of them, they were sitting on the horse and enjoying a lot. But now finally, Murad said, "Get down." He asked Aram, "Get down, I want to ride alone." "Will you let me ride alone?" I asked. So when Murad asked Aram to get down because he wanted to ride alone, so Aram is asking, "Will you let me ride alone?" "That is up to the horse," my cousin said. "Get down." And Murad replied, "We shall see, because it is all up to the horse. If the horse will allow, then we shall see. Now get down." "The horse will let me ride," I said. And Aram said, "The horse will let me ride." "We shall see," he said. Then Murad replied, "We shall see. Don't forget that I have a way with a horse." Murad is telling Aram, don't forget, I have a way with a horse. When we say that I have a way with a horse, means I know how to be familiar with anyone, how to be familiar with animal, person or what, and how to control them, right? "Well," I said, "anyway, you have with a horse, I have also." Aram said, "If you have a way with the horse, I have also." "For the sake of your safety," he said, "let us hope so, get down." And Murad says, "Okay, hope so, hope for the best, now get down." "All right," I said, "but remember, you have got to let me try to ride alone." So Aram get down, and he told, "Remember, I will also ride alone." I got down, and my cousin Murad kicked his heels into the horse and shouted, "Wazire, run." I got down, and my cousin Murad kicked his heels into the horse and shouted, "Wazire, run." See the picture, right? He kicked his heels into the horse and shouted, "Wazire, run." The horse stood on its hind legs. Hind legs means back legs. Snorted. Snorted means to make a loud sound, especially when the horse take breath, or you can say when you breathe and air out noisily through your nose, that is snorted, and burst into a fury of speed. And after that, the horse started running in high speed. That was the loveliest thing I had ever seen. That was the loveliest thing I had ever seen. My cousin Murad raced the horse across a field of dry grass to an irrigation ditch, crossed the ditch on the horse, and 5 minutes later returned dripping wet. My cousin Murad raced the horse across a field of dry grass. First he crossed the field of dry grass, then to an irrigation ditch, a big channel It's like a big channel which is dug to hold water or store water for irrigation. Crossed the ditch on the horse and 5 minutes later returned dripping wet. The sun was coming up. Now it was my turn to ride, I said. My cousin Murad got off the horse. Ride, he said. So now it was the turn of Aram. So Murad got down and he asked him, ride. I leaped to the back of the horse and for a moment knew the most awful fear imaginable. The horse did not move. Aram jumped onto the back of the horse and for a moment knew nothing what to do because the horse did not move. Kick into his muscles, my cousin Murad said. What are you waiting for? And Murad shouted on him, kick into his muscles. What are you waiting for? Because he knew now the people will start moving out of their houses. We have got to take him back before everybody in the world is up and about. We have got to take him back before everybody in the world is up and about. Up and about means walk up. About means they will come to know about him. They will come to know about the horse. I kicked into the muscles of the horse. Once again it reared and snorted. Then it began to run. So finally, again, once more, the horse was on its hind legs and then started running. I didn't know what to do because before that he had never rode the horse. So he didn't know what to do. Instead of running across the field to irrigation ditch, the horse ran down the road to the vineyard of Dikran Halbian, where it began to leap over vines. Then there it began to leap. Leap means jump over vines. The horse leaped over 7 vines before I fell. Then it continued running. So finally, as the horse was jumping on the vines, he fell down. Aram fell down and the horse left him there and the horse ran away somewhere else. So students, you will go through the chapter up to here, that is page number 5, okay, and you will note down the value points. You will make 5 short questions on the chapter till now, whatever we have covered today. You will write down the characteristics of Uncle Khosrow, okay, and about the incident of their horse riding, right? So this is all for today. Thank you. Have a good day.